Good evening. Tonight I'm going to be reading from my persuasive speech about environmental awareness and how going green is something that we should all take seriously and should contribute in. I'd like to introduce my audience, my daughter Janae, who's 6. Air is certainly nothing but existence, but if polluted, exactly how would we survive in life? I'm not a big naturist, but I do believe in doing my part as best as I can with recycling and keeping the water from being polluted and preventing trees from being torn down and such. In the past few decades, the human race has given our planet a 1-2 punch, and basically what that means is that we're actually causing more damage to our Earth than saving it by building commercial buildings and polluting the air with toxic waste from our vehicles. Although it is the easy way of commuting, but it does harm us in other ways. On Earth, the amount of fresh water availability is about 6.8 billion of the world's people. Water population is present amongst 1/5 of the world's population on Earth. What people don't realize is when you're actually polluting the water, you're actually harming marine life, and in turn, that's actually a source of food for us. So if we can't eat and we can't drink, there's really no possible way of survival. Deforestation is an ongoing battle that we face every day. With technology being more advanced, people are starting to break down forests, and it's driving animals out of their homes and into our backyards, into streets where they're being killed on highways by vehicles and such things like that, which is actually causing extinction. Our country is actually intoxicated the Gulf of Mexico with oil, and because of that, it enabled earthquakes in the Midwest, trying to harbor natural gas, and even destroyed Virginia mountains for coal. We're actually tearing up areas that really need to be left alone because they're actually natural made areas, but the sources that they're actually taking aren't naturally made. They're actually cut with chemicals, so they're actually man-made, and they can become deplenished over time. So now everybody's starting to use solar panels and wind power for energy and such. In turn of these problems, amongst others, they are proven to all aid in global warming. Our planet, where we are at risk of flooding our Earth, leaving many casualties and scarce resources for food. Eventually, with all the chemicals leading into the ozone, is actually breaking a barrier between us and the sun, and eventually the sun is going to warm our Earth a little more than usual, and it's actually going to start to melt ice caps, and eventually it's going to cause like a tidal flood and things like that. It's not something that's going to happen tomorrow, but eventually in time it will happen. There's an old saying, it's not easy being green, but when it comes to the planet, it's easier said than done, and I truly believe that, because it is hard to really prevent harming the Earth, when in a way we do have to do certain things in order to survive, but we can keep it from getting any worse than it already is. This is where being green becomes easy. There are small solutions that we can do to keep from causing any more damage, whereas we can dispose all hazmat materials to our local recycling center rather than to dump them down our drains, causing death of marine life and intoxication of water. For deforestation, we can reverse it by cutting a tree and planting a tree in our yard. It helps with carbon monoxide and actually keeps our air clean in order for us to breathe. Where energy is concerned, we can use LED power saver lights. They actually do cut down the use of energy. So that's a form of way if you don't, not everybody can afford the panels to go on their houses. By following these simple steps and going green, we have a chance to reverse the negative impact that we have influenced on our Earth. The long-term effects, saving the marine life, sources of food, less extinction of animals, and it just has long-term effects with less emission from cars, and it just helps. Every little person, every little bit helps. Here are some simple, yet effective solutions that anyone can do, where you can cut off lights if you're not using them to save energy. Don't run your water if not necessary. Limit your showers to 15 minutes. Just like little tiny things like that. In closing, by taking the simple steps to go green, we can maintain our forest life and crystal clear water and ample energized homes and businesses to where we don't have to worry about blackouts and other disasters from happening. Thank you very much for listening to my speech, and have a lovely evening. Right. So this is Janae, my audience. Wave.
Goodbye.
Bye.